Welcome to episode 2 of Mother, Baby and Us.
Mother, Baby and Us.
On today's episode, we are going to be looking at previous work and how we've grown to where we are now, what we've done to help elevate our work and get to just a better level, I would say. I'm not happy about it. They forced me to do it, but it is what it is.
It's good to look back.
We get it in the early episodes, so not many people are watching.
No, it's good to see the progression. It's good to see where we started and where we got to.
In private.
But before we get to that, we are going to answer a question.
So the question this week is, how long have you guys known each other and how/why are you in business together?
So I don't think we covered this in the first episode. Me and Christy are actually sisters, which is great.
And that's my bad as well, because I didn't realise that until I was editing the episode. I was like, oh wait,
I thought
yeah.
you meant you didn't realise we were sisters. I was like, you're absolutely like,
Oh, I didn't know you two were sisters. I picked up on it as I was editing the last one. I thought, oh wait, people aren't necessarily aware that you guys are sisters. And it's not immediately obvious. Through,
no, we are chalk and
looks.
cheese.
Yeah. In every possible way, really. But,
How we haven't killed each other yet, I don't know.
yeah.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, so...
Forever.
Birth. Would be the answer to that.
Yeah.
We are sisters. We do want to merge each other most days. It is hard work working together. But it's also really good because it means we can have the heated debates that we need to have.
Yes, because we're both very passionate.
Yeah, we are very passionate about
And we're both very opinionated, but...
And we're both really bad at control freak. Like, we are control freaks.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Like, we'll both be... Like, I'll be editing and she'll be like, no, that's not good enough. And then she'll sit down and I'm like, what the hell have we done to this? Like...
But it's good because if one of us has done something that isn't a standard, the other one will tell, because it's not like we're going to offend each other because we're sisters and we'll just tell each other how it is. I mean, we do offend each other on a daily basis, but we'll go make a cup of tea, come back, and then we're friends again. So
friend is a strong word.
yeah, so I think it works well.
It does.
There's a fine line in it because I've worked with family members before, and everyone I know who's worked for family businesses has always said, don't work a family because you fall out and then that affects your family relationship and all that as well.
Yeah.
But there's something, I mean, your relationship goes beyond siblings, because I know there's siblings out there that have been in business who don't get on as well as you do, but you two will bicker and argue all bloody day, and it's like...
But we always get the best result out
yeah,
of it
exactly.
for it.
Yeah. It's like you've got to, not only have you got to be, sisters to do that, you've also got to be a different kind of sister, where like you can just say anything to each other and not take it personally.
The problem is, obviously we're siblings, so like we share our parents, so we're always at our parents' houses together. Our children are 12 weeks apart, so like our kids keep telling us that they're brothers, not cousins, which is a slight issue, but like we're covering that. So we're always together with the kids, and then our friendship group is the same. So like even our friends, we've got the same friends. Like we're bridesmaids at our friend's wedding, and like we're constantly around each other. Like there's not a situation where we're not like, oh well, Christy's coming. Like we just attached to the hip.
There we are, yeah. We had a very hectic week in work one week, and we wanted to merge each other, and we thought it was a good idea to go away for the weekend and stay in a caravan, me and her and the boys, and we were all in one car travelling up, and we weren't even speaking. By the time we got to the caravan, we literally weren't even speaking to each other. We were like, you stay down that end of the caravan and I'll step this one. But it's fine, because we're still here. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing about your relationship is decision making.
Unless it's unanimous, we don't do it.
No, we run everything by each other. Unless we're both 100% on something, then we don't. If one of us isn't, well, no, then we don't do it, because it wouldn't be a 50-50 partnership if we didn't do that. So,
I mean, it's still my name above the door, so I feel like I got the majority vote, but...
Stop holding that laugh back.
I'm not saying anything.
That laugh back.
I'm not saying anything. No,
I feel like it's like 50.5.
50.1.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We might not make it to the end of this episode.
This might be one of them does everything.
But the reason we are in business together is because Abigail started this on her own initially.
Yeah, we touched on that last episode, didn't we?
Yes. And then I came in 2019 when I was on maternity leave,
It was always going to be that you came in at a later date. It was Christy was in a well-paid job and she didn't want to leave that job, obviously, and then just go to nothing. I wasn't in a well-paid job. I just come out of uni. I was in Starbucks and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I was like, well, it's fine. I'm starting with nothing, so I can make nothing and still get on with it, kind of situation. So it was always going to be, I'll start it up, I'll get it running, and then when we're in a position to be able to pay myself and Christy, then she'll come on board, because we're at a stage where we can afford
That is doable, yeah.
And she was still helping out now and again when I needed a second pair of hands, but it was too much for me on my own, but not enough to pay Christy as well. So,
and having a full-time job and working your days off in a studio, like, you could just get burnt out and noodles. So it was, maternity leave was the only time really that we had the time to focus on getting it to a place where we needed to, that I didn't have to go back to my job. And then I came in as a partner, and we're still arguing to this day.
yeah.
You guys have clearly got like a really good working relationship, and to an outsider, this is why we've always said about doing a reality TV show here, because it would it would be genuinely interesting, because it is chaotic here.
Yeah.
And you guys do argue at everything, but the end result is always good.
Yeah, and I don't think that's like, customers don't see that.
No, we never do that in front of customers. Like, we're always professional in front of customers. It's behind closed doors. Most of the time. No, but it's never, it never feels bad. And I never feel like, oh, this is awkward. Like, it's just like, oh God, here we go. Like, just, we just roast each other.
Yeah, basically. It's just roasting on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like you say, you're in each other's pockets 24/7, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of got to be that way. You know, you can't just be like, all right, 5 days a week, and then the weekend, then you know, you don't see each other. And then come back on a Monday. And I think that's how people sort of start resenting each other, you know, especially in workplace environments. So it's also a mark of dedication for you two, because you've kind of got to be not just living and breathing this business, but you've got to be in each other's hair.
It's constant. Do you know, if somebody isn't sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll have a ting, and she'll send me some, oh, look at this. Oh,
it's the same way. It's the other way around as well.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah, but
I had a TikTok sent to me 3 o'clock this morning. Was this this morning? It was about 3 o'clock.
No, yesterday morning, yeah. No, it wasn't 3 o'clock. It was when I woke up at 5, but still.
I don't want to brag, but I haven't seen 3 o'clock in the morning since like I was 18.
Because you haven't got kids.
Yeah. I'm milking that one. I love my sleep. Like,
so did I.
Yeah. Once upon a time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for people who didn't know in the previous episode, you know, you guys are sisters, and
we are.
It's not just rare to see that in a photography business. It's rare to see that in a business in general, isn't it? It's really rare to see that actually anyway, and it's a testament how good you actually get on despite the bickering and
wanting to strangle her constantly.
And the murderous rage every day. Despite that, you come up with some really, really top quality images. So
yeah, the end result's always good, isn't it? So don't worry about how we get there, as long as you get there.
Something's working.
Yeah.
There we are. Right, shall we look at some images?
Yes.
Yeah, so this week we've got... I know you don't want to do it, but...
The bit Abigail's been dreading.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way.
I just don't want to offend anybody. That's the bit I'm most worried about. I don't care about people seeing my old work, because obviously it's still on Facebook and stuff, like other people have shared the photos, but it's the parents of those children going, well, why are my newborn photos rubbish? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to offend anybody.
You need to look at the price difference as well, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'm sure they won't be offended then. So basically this is going to be a comparison of your older work versus your new work, and we can sort of talk together about how it's changed over the years. If you're listening to this on an audio-only platform, jump on over to YouTube. The link should be in the description somewhere below. But yeah, the best way to see this is on YouTube, so you can see what's going on as well. Okay, first image.
Okay.
Some of these I've got watermarks because I couldn't find them unwatermarked because they're so long ago.
Your own watermark, though. That's just...
They're on my own watermarks,
Oh,
yeah, but that's like
an
old watermark, so you can see how long ago that one was.
Yeah.
Now, that is still a lovely picture, and like the mother of that baby is, I'm sure, incredibly happy with that picture.
Yeah.
But You can see the progression.
Oh, 100%.
In the thing that stands out for me is the wrap, because obviously the one on the left is quite messy. So the wrapping, that's a technique that has been built over time. The actual, lighting's massive difference.
Yeah.
The posing, so where like she's like, tucked in on herself.
And she's on her side.
And she's on her side, so you're not seeing an awful lot of her face. Obviously in the second one, face is...
it's all stuff different, isn't it? So that we've got stuffers that go in different places to help pose the baby. And like that has made a massive difference, because...
her being in the right position has made all the difference in where her face is, how much of her face you can see.
It brings her chin up, it opens her chest up so that you can see all her face.
Yeah. And just the general stylising of it. Obviously, it's the very similar colours and similar in terms of the way the baby is inside a basket in a wrap.
These two, because you can see like they are quite similar. Yeah, so there's so many versions, so many layers of textures that go through the newer one to create... So
depth.
It doesn't matter which bit you look at, there's something there. Whereas the earlier one, there's a blanket in a basket.
Yeah.
The one that jumps out at me particularly is the baby's face. The baby's face is the entire subject focus on the right hand side, whereas the left hand side it's a bit sort of lost, and you can almost, I know you could. To someone who doesn't know much about babies, you go, all babies look the same. But the one on the left makes it look like, that is definitely that baby. Whereas the one on the right, other way around. The one on the right, the newer one, you can see the baby's face. Whereas the one on the left could be anyone's baby, really. It's I don't know if that's true. Maybe the mother would disagree if she saw that now. But...
I mean, I would disagree with him because I could tell the difference, but yeah.
I
know. It's really weird. I know, from looking at babies, I'll look at a newborn baby and she'll go, well, whose baby's that? I'm like, so-and-so.
Yeah.
And it'll be years ago and I'm like, yeah, so-and-so's baby, you can tell.
I got no idea. I'm baby blind, I am. Maybe it's because I haven't got kids of my own, so I don't know.
Well, even though there's more going on in terms of... how many layers, the fact that we've got flowers, the texture, there's so much more going on the one on the right. But as you said, the main focus is still the baby's face. So it doesn't matter what's going on around, you're still drawn to the baby's face. And obviously that needs to be the main focus of the image. Yeah. So the lighting is massively different. And that's something that we've been working on a lot in there, because that can make an image just pop completely, moving that light.
Yeah, well, the lighting on the earlier one is so flat, it's just lit from every angle going. Yeah. So there is no
no shadow.
There's no focus of your attention. It's literally everything is distracting because you're looking at everywhere because you're looking for some sort of focus. There's nothing there to focus your attention.
Yeah.
I mean, you say it's lit from all angles, but quite annoyingly, on the lower right hand side. Sorry, I got direction dyslexia. I can't tell that right. The lower right hand side. That's right, of the first image. It's an annoying sort of dull spot there. Where you can just tell it hasn't been. Yeah, right. So you can just tell that's sort of not been thought about really. No offense to you, but
I would just stick some lights on and go, yeah, she's lit. That'll be fine.
Yeah. As long as there's enough light in a general direction. Whereas, again, talk about the baby's face in the second image being the centre of the image. The lighting totally helps that. So the shadow, the contrast starts at the baby's head, and so after that it's all dark, a lovely beautiful contrast shadow. But before that, it's the baby's head is the brightest thing in the image, and that is exactly what you want. So two quite very similar images, but there's some really small differences that make all the difference. So when was the image one? When was that taken?
That was taken, I think, 2017. I want to say maybe 2018. So not massively long ago.
No, not at all. No.
And that one there was that 2020 or 2021?
2020.
2020.
Amazing.
So again, since then
we've progressed.
We've progressed again.
These were so similar in colouring and the pose and everything that you could see the massive comparison in them.
Yeah.
That's why I picked those ones.
Next image.
Massive difference.
Yeah.
So
I can remember, I was going to say, like, that's, yeah. Wow.
So obviously the first thing is the wrap. So back then though, you were doing this on your own, weren't you? So it's a lot harder to...
And I know a lot of people do newborn photography on their own, but I'm setting everything up while you were wrapping, and it just works. The flow is so much easier when you've got somebody helping.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why people get assistants and cost a lot more, because when you've got an assistant to help you do something like that, the stress just kind of leaves the room.
And everything just, if it's less stress and you're kind of relaxed, everybody feeds off that, don't they? Like the baby can tell if it's
So when I was taking photos
atmosphere.
at this time, I was wrapping a baby, getting them all sorted, giving them back to mother or father, and then going and setting up like the background and everything else on the bean bags. So these are both on bean bags with a fabric backdrop. I'd wrap them, give them back to mum or dad, and then I'd go and set that up. By the time I've come back, they've probably fed the baby or done something, and the baby's all unwrapped and things, so I'm starting again with that. And it was just a lot of, all right, let me do this again. Oh, let me rush into this. And it was just running back and forth, and it was just so stressful.
So
and I think
wrap,
you could see that comes off in the photos, like the baby's asleep, but like that's rushed.
that wrap is kind of just pulled in the background, twisted quick, and add a bit of a trail.
I think you can see, sorry, I'm trying to see it a bit closer. I think there's a wrap underneath, like a stretch wrap, to try and keep it in position, but she's wriggled out of it.
And obviously her positioning, she's not posed, she's literally just fallen asleep like that and just been put down on the beanbag. Right, let's get a picture quick while she's sleeping. But you can see that this is, we're in a lot of like photography groups and things like that, and and like you can see, we see pictures like this posted all the time. Right, this is my first, one of my first newborn sessions. Where do I go? Yeah, where do I go from here? So you can see that this is what we want to focus on. Like, where do we go from here? And then this one is from this year. This one was taken
a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, literally a couple of weeks ago. And this is just one wrap, so there isn't a wrap underneath to keep her secure and the wrap on top. That is literally just one wrap. Cute little hat.
And posing bean bags in the right place. The importance of putting your bean bags in a safe place, for one, because like a lot of people like will put them in a place where the chin is too far up, and then that can stop breathing. Too far down can stop breathing. Like, it's pivotal that you put those in the right place. So that's really important, but also in a place that is going to be able to pose that baby so you can see the face again, the lighting is right, and everything else.
Yeah, and again, going back to the sort of the issues of the last image that we just saw, again, the lighting is quite flat on image 1 and image 2. It's way more directional, it's way more focused, and it really does show the baby off in the face as well. And obviously the sort of the similarity in colour between the wrap in the second photo and the background in the second photo, the only sort of difference there popping out is the face and the hands. So again, use of colour and light come together to make the baby's face the sort of primary focus.
Exactly.
And yeah, the first one looks like something I would have taken today, to be honest. I would have gone, oh my god, take a photo for baby.
And I think you can see you can see when I've had my baby, like the photos before and after having my baby, picking those kids up and wrapping them, because I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna break them, and like I've never, like the only experience I had like with babies, newborn babies, was in my studio. Like when I first started, I was like, yeah, take a photo of your baby, and then I was like, oh my god, I gotta take a photo of this baby. So now, like, I know that I can not be rough, but I know that they're not going to break when I'm handling them and things, and I know how to handle those babies, and I got confidence because I am a mother and I know like what I'm doing. I think as soon as I came back after my maternity leave, I was like, oh no, this is fine.
Yeah. And I think that is, I mean, I used to think it was a case of, because the maternity photography world is overwhelmingly dominated by women, I thought, oh, well, it's just a woman thing, but it probably has to do with having your own children as well as that. So, and I can imagine how, well, I mean, I don't have to imagine, I've done baby shoots occasionally before for family members and stuff, and I'd be rubbish at it, and I just want to get it over and done with as quick as possible. It's like, you feel like you can't really engage with the subject because it's a fragile little baby and you don't want to, knock it about, whatever, But yeah, I think there's a difference in just your own maturity as well as a person. I'm not saying, if you have kids, then you're not if you don't have kids, you're not the
No,
sugar.
not at all.
But it's
it was
just
just I was very
experience.
young
It's just,
and I had never had any experience with children.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know how to do these things safely. And like one of the poses that we stay away from if we can is...
Well, if you can, I don't do anything.
is known as a froggy pose. So I don't know if you've seen this. So the baby's positioned like
And their
this.
feet come round the side.
Yeah, and they bring their feet forward, which makes them look like they're a frog. But that, new photographers coming into the business will see that and they go, oh, right, okay, position them, leave them go, take a picture. They don't realise that you have to...
So dangerous, yeah.
Composite. So, hold them, hold me.
So you
Hold
hold them
them.
there, then you don't leave go there, you hold them there, and then you've got the weight of the... So you're constantly taking the weight, like you've always got two hands.
That
and
newborn baby...
Sorry, you've got things on your head now.
Lovely. That newborn baby can't support the weight of their head, like their neck isn't developed enough. And when you see things like that happening, it just takes your breath away. You think, oh, like...
There should be some sort of regulation, shouldn't there?
There should,
There
yeah.
is no regulation in the industry. And there's no... Well, I'm saying there's no. There's health and safety training out there, but they're like, it's fine. Like, I've got kids, I know what I'm doing. Like, it's scary when you... Like, there was a woman who went viral a couple of weeks ago on a photography group, because she was doing the froggy pose when she...
Yeah.
And she was saying, this is how I do it. And she was doing it as an educational video for new photographers.
Wow.
And she let that child go. And it just went absolutely mental in all the groups. They were like, what are you doing?
You were teaching people to do that, to be so unsafe.
Really
So
is.
I think that's a lot of... that's a lot to think about as well when you first start, is learn how to safely pose.
Yeah.
That's the thing,
Because
you've got to have like qualifications to do childcare and to look after children in that
Exactly.
way. So why, you know, I know this isn't, well, no, it is as full time really. If you're doing this sort of thing every day, you really should have sort of qualifications in.
Yeah. So like we've
you-
got
you
paediatric
have-
first aid training. We've got like
Right.
you should really know how to, like, if anything goes wrong, you need to know how to help, like.
React.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we've had babies in that have, like, we had one little girl in, didn't we? And she was still on her oxygen. She still had attached to an oxygen tank because she was so premature. And like things like that, you need to know how to deal with that situation. We had that baby in with a hip issue. Like, we need to know these things in advance so that we can know that we are being safe, and that baby, we can get the most out of that session without ever putting that baby in any kind of danger at all, because no photograph is worth that. But that was a long-winded way of saying we now know where to put the bean bags and the stuffers and things underneath the head, and where to position baby's head and neck to make sure the face is the main focus of that image, but doing it in a safe way.
Absolutely. So yeah, massive difference between the two images there as well. Let's go to the next one.
Yep.
So this one's a maternity shot.
Yeah. Big difference. Well, I say big difference. Yeah, it is a big difference.
The major difference in this one is lighting. Absolutely lighting in it.
Yeah, you can start to see, this is where we started to kind of learn more about maternity. When we were like, right, this is not working, how do we make it better, blah, blah, blah.
So the actual posing, we were still kind of traditional hands-on bump. We were still at that stage.
We were trying to find our style,
but we were kind of, it's slightly more stylized than the traditional just stood posing. So we're trying to get a different angle, so that's why she's on the side. We're taking note of how every part of her body is. So her feet are still pointed, her toes are still pointed, but there is a massive difference in the posing between the first and second image. So in the second one, now we try and avoid hands on bump. We'll still do one or two like that, but this one, she's got a weight on her hand, she's using her hand to pose on her knee, she's putting her weight back to give her that nice arch on her back. It's all about the right shapes.
She's twisted her body as well towards us, so you're still looking at her bump. Like the first thing I look at when I look at that photo is her face, and it goes straight down to her bump because it's lit that way, so that it's like highlights all the way down. But we've twisted her slightly so that
her shoulders are round, so we've still
so
got...
the bump is twisted towards us, because the first image is, like, you can see she's pregnant, obviously, but
it's very side on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all those
obviously
little, all those little tweaks, But the major one is the lighting on this one. Again, it's quite flat in the first one. It's very brightly lit, and the second one,
dark and moody.
And just to let people know, what sort of lighting is it? Not going too far into text, but what lighting are you using?
We are using Bowen's Gemini. We bought the lights. I've never had any. I've had these since I first opened my first studio in 2012. So we probably are doing new lights, if I'm honest.
Well, put it this way, Bowen's is now going out of business.
Yeah,
for
they
the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they got bought out by Wex, didn't they? But that version of Bowen's, you can't buy anymore. No. But they've always done the job, so I've never
this is my point. I mean, when we say the light is better, just so people know, we haven't changed.
No,
we're using exactly the same. It's one softbox.
One square softbox. Everybody in the industry is like, oh, you need an octobox, you need
the biggest
octobox.
Or the rectangle 80 by 20.
You don't, obviously. It'd be lovely if I did have an octobox, and it would be lovely if I had lighter lights, as in like the weight of the lights, because they are humongous and really heavy.
Very heavy.
So I am doing an upgrade because they are very old and very heavy, but they've done the job so far. Until they're dead, I'm probably going to keep using them.
So this is literally, it's the same lighting. We haven't, the only thing we've changed is the position of the light and how we've...
I think I've got a softbox and 2 umbrellas on the first one, and a softbox and 1 umbrella on the second one. So I've taken a light out to make it a little bit more contrasty, obviously, and I've positioned them in a more flattering way.
I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I keep up with the sort of the whole lighting world and stuff, and wedding photography lights, for example, they used to have like a power pack and like a big head. You had to have your assistant hold it on a light for you, right? Whereas now you can get that same sort of power in some of the size of like, a brick, which is amazing, and that's sort of outdoor sort of stuff. But studio lighting has changed very little, if at all, since the 70s, 80s. I mean, the system behind it is all the same. And really, I mean, we were always told this in film school, like, The Godfather is one of the best sort of shot cinematography-wise, ever. But the lighting was incredibly simple. Yeah. And if anything, it was all about, lack of light rather than overwhelming it with light. Yeah. So if people are thinking, oh, well, of course it looks better, they've upgraded the lights, we haven't. It's just use what you've got and put it to better use. I am the queen of using what you got. Like, I haven't got the money to be put it into tech. So I'm like, that'll do. I'll use just that. You think you're the queen of using what you got? Like, this podcast is being recorded on, like, how many desks have we gone through in the last, 10 minutes? Yeah, we've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 audio desks and none of them have worked. No, so between them, none of them are fully working. Yeah, so. you might notice from the last podcast there was big mic stands on the table where we're using lav mics now. But that's just what I've got in my bag. As we're making do. Yeah, exactly. Because the microphones we were using had a horrible noise coming through them, so we were like, all right, well, that's not working, obviously. So the big professional gear this time didn't work out. And actually my old rubbish sort of battered radio mics have saved the day. So again, it's a case of using what you've got. And don't spend millions of pounds because somebody on a podcast told you, this is the best. Because if you don't know how to use it, then it's not going to be the best equipment. No, it's not. No. But the lighting upgrade is nothing to do with actually upgrading. It's all to do with how you've used the lights you've already got. And I think that is testament to that, really. Because look at these 2 images. I mean, amazing. And stylising. So I forgot to mention on the last one, like the style between the two has come on leaps and bounds. Like every little detail is thought about now. Like obviously there's a style in the first one, and that was the style at the time, wasn't it? It was all kind of white and lacy and kind of having the bump out, and that was the style. But now it's like bougie. We got the couture gowns and I think the difference is we used to build our prop and wardrobe room up a tiny bit at a time. We were never buying anything massive. And then we've gone, right, well, that's not good enough. I would hate it if 5 customers came in a row and had the same thing. They'd all go, oh, well, I'll have that because someone so-and-so. So I like to change something in it. If they go, oh, well, I want that basket because so-and-so had it, that's fine, but you're not going to have the same props in it. You're going to have a different blanket. You're going to have I will change the wraps and everything, because nobody's going to have the same photos, because I don't want to be the photographer that does, I'm going to have that photo because so-and-so have had it. I don't want to produce the same artwork over and over again. The baby's changed,
but like everything else is exactly the same. That's not going to happen. So we spent the money, didn't we, on
We did.
wardrobe and props and everything.
And we are trying to come away from what everybody else is doing as well.
Yeah.
So there's nobody really around here that does anything like that, are they?
No.
Like if you go to anybody else around here for a maternity session, it's still kind of traditional, you know, the tradition.
backdrop and whatever, black
So like
backdrop, yeah.
this now, we're trying to kind of get away from that, and we
Yeah.
we
wanna
found
be
our style now, haven't we?
empowering maternity photos, not
Yes.
just this is me and I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is me, I look pregnant, and I look nice.
Yeah,
It's
we
nice.
want, look at that powerful image, look at that
Exactly.
woman being an absolute queen, bringing a life into this world.
There we are.
Yeah, look how confident she is in that second picture.
And she's not a model, again,
She's
we
not.
say this every time, but she's not a model. That's her second baby. She's had this is her second maternity session with us because she enjoyed the first one so much. We've done a newborn photos, 6-month photos, like she is practically always here now. She's we love having her in. We're like, oh, here she comes, yeah, the whole family come, and we love it. But she's not a model. She was like, right, well, what do I do? And we showed her exactly how to pose, and she was like, is this it? Yeah, done. Beautiful.
Amazing. Okay, next image.
So the first image is Christy's little boy, Finley. And that was obviously taken in 2018. The next one is, oh, this is Sunny. I've just realised who it is.
Yes.
So that's our cousin's little boy, who was born in December.
Yeah.
And
And
I don't know what to say.
he came in January, didn't he? He was a little bit older than...
He had COVID, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't have COVID.
No,
the
parents had COVID
So-
straight away after he arrived. So he came in a little bit after the 2 weeks that we usually say that we do it within. But he was still absolutely fantastic when he proper little model baby.
He was.
So, obviously, vast difference between these two. I will say that at this stage, my child was severely allergic to milk and we didn't know. So he was really fussy, he cried all the time, and we did not get him to sleep, did we, in this
No.
session. But
And also, I was only 3 months after having my child.
Yeah.
So I'd gone into the studio just to take these photos. And
technically, he was still on,
I was
you
on
were
maternity leave, yeah.
still on maternity leave.
But it was just chaos. absolute
Yes,
chaos.
but knowing now what we do, like how many babies do we have come in that are allergic to milk?
And we know straight away, don't we?
Yeah, we do, straight away. And we know now what we need to do to comfort these babies so that we can get them to sleep and we can get them to pause. Like the first one, we didn't know what we were doing to make him sleep, and that was my child. So he's just awake, we flipped the blanket up and we've gone, right, let's take the picture. The second one is he's asleep and we've paused him. Obviously his little hand is where it needs to be and everything. We've made sure that the bow on the bonnet is you know, and even like the trailing string, like we put it into that position. Everything is where it needs to be. So we get them sleeping, we get them positioned, and then we make all those little tweaks because it's so calm and it's a relaxed atmosphere, and we've got the time to spend to do that. In that first one, it was just get him on that background, just get a picture. So obviously the lighting is...
The lighting was just like, where is it? Doesn't matter. Just get. He's quiet for 3 seconds. Take a photo.
He's not crying. Just get a picture. So.
And again, that's another sort of testament to you guys doing what you do together. And like you said, there are newborn photographers out there who do these images on their own. Great, wonderful. But there's no doubt in that two hands, two sets of hands even, are better than one.
Yeah.
And you know, the photographer can actually concentrate on the photograph and the lighting, the camera, lens
a lot of the
choice.
time when I'm taking photos, like I'll stop and go, Chrissy, the bow or whatever needs tweaking, and she knows what I mean. So like I just mentioned, I'll go, Chrissy, can you sort that? And I don't actually say what I need sorting. She just see that needs sorting.
And you have to leave your position then.
Yeah, so I'm exactly
and
where I
I'll
need
go,
to be.
right, tell me when I can jump in, because she's clicking away. Tell me when I can jump in. She'll stop. She literally won't even move. She'll just stop. I'll just tweak something that I've seen from over this angle. I'll tweak something. Right, go on. And she'll carry on going. So it's good to have a second pair of eyes as well as a second pair of hands. Just so those little details are thought about and are done. So there's less editing after.
Yeah, of course.
Because the shape on that little string coming off, I mean, that's easily done in Photoshop afterwards. You liquefy it and give that little wavy motion. But who wants to sit and do that for hours? Do you know what I mean? If you can get it right in camera, it's minimal editing then. It's just brightening up the baby's face and just any bits and pieces that you need to take out. But Yeah, that...
Yeah, and again, you know, not without being rude, the lighting in the first one, you could tell it was just chuck a light there.
I would say it was a second thought, but it wasn't even a second thought. I didn't think about it.
Didn't you think about it at all? Yeah.
They were lit. Like there was a light on him, so...
And that was what I needed. Whereas, you know, again, like you said on the second image, it's the baby's face, it's perfectly angled, you can just see, you know, all the face, lovely and lit up. The shadow behind the head is lovely and sort of gradiented. Is that, if that's a word? Gradiented? Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I've got a better one for you.
Even like the blanket, it's still the same beanbag fabric.
We folded the beanbag fabric up
and we fold it up, so it's the same colour, consistent, but it's pinned in the right position, so you haven't got all those creases like in the first one.
Don't get me wrong, we do sometimes still get creases, and they're the bane of my life. I hate editing creases out of a beanbag fabric.
But
it's a lot easier now than it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you said, a lot of it comes down to the actual method of shooting. I've done some video of you guys shooting. I think I'll just drop that in here, actually. So you can see from the video now that it is like a whole all hands on deck sort of operation. You guys are sort of helicoptering the baby, but you never see that. You never know that if you didn't actually see it with your own eyes.
And I think it's a lot of the lead up to the actual photo. There's a lot of things going on, and then they put the baby down, click, done. And the last thing you do is take a photo, but like it's like seconds compared to the
wrapping and the positioning and the setup.
15 to 20 minutes.
And and settling the baby and getting the baby to sleep. And
the parents are always like, oh my God, I can't believe this is taking so long, like to get them to sleep. And this is normal. This is completely normal.
Yeah.
We're happy for you to keep feeding until they are completely in a milk coma, and then we will have them off you, and it's all just calm. And like it's where it used to be, oh well, like we've only got a set amount of time, so let's just go, and if they cry in, we'll try and solve it not that it in a horrible way, like we obviously stop and let them feed and everything like that, but it was like, shall I give him back to you? I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll chuck a dummy in and see how we go. And it was a lot different. We've learnt that the experience is you've got to kind of just take everything really calmly, and just the road to taking that photo is a lot slower, and just let it go with the flow.
Yeah. And it's, again, if you look at the video, it's so different to how the image looks. The image is so tranquil, you could be mistaken thinking that it was that calm in the studio, and it's not at all.
No, and there's at any point, you've always got somebody like centimetres away from that baby at all times. It doesn't matter whether on the beanbag, whether in a prop on the floor.
I'm always photoshopping either my own like hands and feet or Christy's hands and feet out.
Because we are so close all of the time with these babies. Like we're always just there.
Or even touching them.
Yeah.
And that comes back to you say about the frog pose. Like, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, it could be like really dangerous. It's really dangerous. And this is why, you know, I mean, I haven't been asked to do maternity photos for a good few years. I don't like doing them because, again, like I said before, it's not for me. But now, if I was asked tomorrow, I'd say no. And I have a few times actually I referred you guys on because I don't know what I'm doing. And even if you've got a mate who's got a camera, and like, yeah, I understand not everyone can like shell out money to afford newborn photography. But even if you go with someone who's at a lower price point, they should hopefully, if they're professionals, they know how to do this safely, and that's the most important thing.
We've been there where we've done it on a budget, not.
The safety was always
at the forefront. That's never.
It's never affected.
No, because as long as that's what your main thing is, your main concern is how that baby is.
No photograph is worth harming a baby, obviously.
No. Yeah, the main point again from there is you should always sort of do your research, make sure your photographer is competent and safety, no matter what, no matter if they're costing you, you know, top end of the spectrum, or it's just a mobile photographer doing it in your house on a cheap background or whatever, make sure it's done safely.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what your for the photographer side of it. If your equipment is working, then there's no need to go spend out millions of pounds on new cameras and lighting and everything. Just learn how your equipment works and make it work for you.
and learn method, because method doesn't cost anything to learn really.
There's so many free videos as well online.
Yeah, exactly. Like this one.
So I've run out of coffee, so I think that's the end of the episode. So the next episode, we are looking at location versus studio photography. It's probably like mostly maternity based because we don't do location newborns, but we will look at a little bit of newborn, I would have thought, in the studio, just to lighten and things like that. But yeah, thanks for listening and watching. So if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you are streaming from. Or if you watched, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok, all at Abigail Lewis Photography.
See you soon for episode 3. Bye.
Bye.